Bobby wanted desperately to read tonight, but he's just too fucking nervous. So he asked me to come up and do some things, selected pieces for him. So I hope you enjoy them. This first one's called Promises to Keep. "'Tis not true that I have fallen. Blue horizons are far away for now, but I have lived. And the curly hair of the young. I made my promises in my black and white way to take the singing soprano of the Cosa Nostra, bloody its neck, and to blend the racial spectrum like a giant can of flesh paint on a gyrating mixer of hopes and equality, and in the end, though it is proven there is no true end, I will have always kept my promises." My brother Jack. Before I went back to the globe spin, I lived in a place called Heaven. My brother Jack was there, and so was his dog that bit me when I was 5. This time the dog kissed me with the lips of a woman, and Jack was the one who bit me. He hung onto my ankle with tenderness, and I dragged him through heaven until we had the courage to discuss and compare our assassinations. Curse. A beautiful woman once climbed up and grabbed me from underneath a rickety wooden bridge and sucked me down into a room full of bones and blankets. Joe Jr. and Jack and little Tedward didn't see me and ran ahead, but she held on to me like I was her jacket and explained quietly and simply into my little ear, "You all have dead eyes. Even the good ones will die." At first it didn't strike me as that odd, but after I told Golden Teeth, he laughed and told me with his face and his hands in between tiny hisses that there was no need to worry, that she was more than just wrong about little Tedward. "Whatever," I said to Golden Teeth. "Why didn't she just tell Tedward that I was going to be fine?" Golden Teeth. I always just went ahead and assumed that Golden Teeth was the devil. And I thought that because he was always emerging out of the dark forest whenever there were difficult problems at hand. And there's also the problem of the fact that he never aged, always wore the same flea-skin jackets, didn't have a face you could remember without laughing, didn't speak a language I could understand. I only remember him talking to me with his faces in his hands. And I felt like he was talking to me. I could understand him, like he was talking to me. Jack said I was stupid. He said Golden Teeth spoke English, was Papa Joe's friend, and didn't have a nest of spiders living inside of him. I told Jack he was stupid. Tedward didn't even know who we were talking about, which made me angry, because I remember him living in our house, and Tedward crawling on his lap crying, Jack pulling red coins out of Golden Teeth's ears, and me crying in the corner, looking for one of my baby teeth. Breastfeeding. Rose was too good to do it. Golden Teeth had to. His milk tasted like freshly squeezed juice that had been sitting out all day. Not as good as fresh squeeze, but better than concentrate. That guy was amazing. This is called My First Love. When I first saw Leslie, she was eating an enormous pastry. Sugar was dripping freely. When Leslie first saw me, I was licking a piece of candy that was stuck to my sleeve. When I first talked to Leslie, she did all the talking. Words were flowing generously. When Leslie first heard a sound from me, I looked up from my piece of candy that was stuck to my sleeve. When I first asked out Leslie, Jack did it for me. Charm was gushing gigantically. When Leslie first dated me, I played with my tie annoyingly that was stuck to my neck tightly. When I first kissed Leslie, Jack did it for me. Saliva was spreading beautifully. When Leslie first kissed me, I crumbled to the love ground lightly. I was happy to finally catch me. What really happened? It was all an accident, really. We were all drinking. I was drinking Bloody Peaches, a mix of peach schnapps and tomato juice. Jack, powdered sugared martinis. Leslie, a drink I made up called a Sea Breeze, which is made of simply rum and seawater. Jack's girl, a drink he made up called Sex on a Beach on the Moon. He wouldn't tell anyone what he put in it, but it was the color of slush and smelled like apples. I was driving the golf cart home because Jack's girl was passed out when Leslie started throwing up. It was so disgusting. When I stopped, she fell off the back. We're gonna just leave her there because she looked like she was already dead. But I accidentally put the cart in reverse and rolled over her. We're gonna just back up and leave her there again, but I accidentally put the car in forward and rolled over her again. When we got home, Jack went to the phone. A few minutes later, I saw Golden Teeth walk out of the forest and meet Jack on the lawn. Golden Teeth was very angry. Jack kept pointing towards me. It was hypnotic the way he pointed at me. Jack drove this time. When we got back to get Leslie, she was barely alive, delirious and thankful for coming back to save her. "Are we going to the hospital?" she whimpered. "Of course we are, sweetheart," Jack said. And it was weird because we then reached a crossroads, a real, actual crossroads. There was an old wooden sign pointing north that read hospital, and an old wooden sign pointing south that read hot springs. Jack put the golf cart turn signal towards the north, but then he turned south. He looked back to see if a policeman had seen his traffic violation. Then he started laughing, which got me laughing. And then Leslie started laughing as blood formed in the sides of her mouth. When we approached the hot springs, I smelled the sulfurous gas, heard the ground hiss, and wondered out loud why God would have ever made such an awful thing. Oranges in my pockets. At all times, I keep a fresh orange in my suit pocket. And when people walk around or by me, I finger the skin, rub my pinky a little bit into the juicy fruit, and then a tiny orange vapor rushes out of my pocket. And people don't usually say anything, but they smile, because it is a refreshing smell. I then peel off a little piece of the rind and move it from hand to hand secretly, and their noses dash about, searching for what made, for just a second, their eyes close in pleasure. And then when they leave, I sniff my fingers and smile. Ethel gets upset with me because I often forget to eat the orange. And more often than often, I forget to remove the orange from my suit pocket. And since I am sloppy and have many, many suits, I have learned that sometimes you have to throw away beautiful things that you've destroyed. Fatherhood. Am I a father just because I have tons of children? Why I write. Ethel tried to pry open my secret book of poems. She has such weak fingers, and I'm glad about that, because she wouldn't be very happy to see inside my stupid book of poems. She asked me, "Bobby, why do you write?" And I say, "Ethel, I'm not writing." And she says, "Bobby, I can see you writing." And I say, "Ethel, shut your mouth, please." And she says, "Bobby, what are you doing then?" And I say, "Ethel, I am drawing pornography." And then I repeat, "Ethel, I am drawing pornography." And then she gets a big weird smile and asks, "Bobby, can I see?" And then I say, "Ethel, you and I both know I don't draw well." And then she says, "Bobby, do you remember when we first made love?" And I say, "Ethel, I don't remember a goddamn thing."